Tonight, students register for the fall semester.
Plus, the annual Troy Fest is looking for volunteers. Stay tuned. TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
From the high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to TrojanVision Nightly News for April 21st, 2014. I'm Caitlin Crow.
And I'm Amanda Ford. Thank you for joining us this evening. Another semester is drawing to a close here at Troy University, but as one semester ends, many students already have their sights set on the next term. Of course, getting the right classes is all part of the process. Casey Harville takes a look at the registration process.
It's that time of the semester again, class registration. While some students look forward to this time as it may be their last, others find it dreadful.
Class registration is very difficult. It is a long process. You really don't know what classes you think you want to take, but we have great advisors here, and they help you get along with the classes. The advisors, they help very much. Sometimes you may not know whether it is the right class for you, but if you talk to them, they can help you and guide you along the way and tell you what good professors to choose in the future.
While registration may be chaotic for the students at times, they are not the only ones who feel that way.
Well, it can get very chaotic, especially when the sophomores and freshmen are registering, because there are more of them that don't know how to register for themselves online. If they have prepared ahead of time, it can go very smoothly for them, but if not, then they may end up sitting around waiting to meet with their advisor, waiting in lines to register.
And for those first-time students who have never done class registration, don't worry, here's some advice.
The best thing they can do is print out their program evaluation from Trojan Web Express and fill out the schedule request form that comes in the schedule books and meet with their advisor prior to the registration day.
Pick classes you think you can handle. Don't take it too far. If you think you can't handle a load, then don't do a load. Just handle what you can.
Students who haven't registered yet better hurry, or they just might miss out on a class that they need. Casey Harville, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Early registration for the fall semester wrapped up on Friday, but if students are still interested in registering for fall classes or making changes to their schedule, they should check with their advisor or departmental secretary.
Troy Fest Arts and Craft Festival will be this weekend on the square in downtown Troy. And while there will be plenty of fun activities on hand throughout the weekend, organizers are looking for some help to make the festival run smoothly. University students to volunteer to help out with a variety of activities associated with this weekend's Troy Fest. Volunteer coordinator Luann Knight Crenshaw says that students will need to be prepared to give around 3.5 hours of their time if they would like to volunteer and participate in one of 2 volunteer classes to be held on Tuesday and Thursday night of this week. If anyone is interested in volunteering for Troy Fest, they are asked to fill out a volunteer form on the Troy Fest website, troyfestarts.com. You can also find information about the festival on the site. And Troy University is made up of a variety of people from students to faculty and staff, and some of those have interesting stories to tell.
That's right, Caitlin, and throughout the month of April, we are going to take a look at some of those individuals in our Trojan Profile series. Today, Maojia Yang introduces us to a student from China who is spending her time at Troy studying a pair of languages other than Chinese.
Wei Xiangluo is a junior student from China who now studies at Troy University. She lives off campus with her roommate Annie Lai and spends most of her free times with her roommate.
I'm a one-to-one exchange student in Troy University. I came here in 2012. This is my second year in Troy. My major is English and my minor is Spanish. I enjoy the life in here.
Last summer, Wei Xiangluo went to Costa Rica for Spanish course study. She also traveled in the capital of Costa Rica, and she had a great fun in there.
I went to Costa Rica with my classmates in intermediate Spanish 1, and we had a really fun time in there. We went to the volcano, and has a tour of the San Jose, is the capital of Costa Rica, and we lived in a family, host family, and we went to the institution to study the Spanish. If I have a chance, I will say that to my teacher when I study Spanish in Costa Rica. Muchas gracias, tenía un tiempo interesante.
She said she missed her teacher and had a fabulous trip. Man Zhaoyang, TrojanVision News.
This wraps up our Trojan Profile series. The stories in our series were produced by students in the Hall School of Journalism's TV News Practicum class.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. In Fairfield, police are investigating a scene after firefighters discovered the burned body of a woman behind a vacant home. Evidence at the scene indicates that the woman was killed elsewhere and then her body was discarded at the vacant home on 40th Street.
And in Hartford, an Alabama state trooper is hospitalized in stable condition after he was wounded in a gun battle that left also 2 suspects injured in a southeast Alabama road. Authorities say the gunfire began as a traffic stop but quickly turned into a shootout Saturday on County Road 57 in Geneva County.
In Jasper, a 13-year-old Walker County girl has died after being thrown from an ATV during a car crash yesterday. The coroner says Gracie Abbott was pronounced dead at a Jasper hospital. Authorities say the driver of the ATV, her and her 2 cousins were riding and lost control. The vehicle then overturned.
And still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, the Trojan baseball team was on the road and had a tough weekend against the other Trojans in the Sun Belt. Daniel Percival will have more details coming up in sports. Now Daniel Percival joins us with sports. So Danielle, the Trojan baseball team was in conference play on the road over the weekend. Can you tell us a little bit how that turned out?
Well, that's right, Amanda. It was another tough series for the team. They're all tough in conference play, and we'll get into the details of that series right now in sports. While many people were searching for Easter eggs yesterday, the Trojan baseball team was searching for runs against UALR. If you think you had a long weekend between feasting on candy and going to family gatherings, listen to these numbers. The Trojan baseball team played 35 innings of baseball over 3 games. Now that's close to the length of 4 for those of you without your calculators handy. Over the weekend, the Trojans played their first 16-inning game since April 25th, 2007, when it was the perfect date for a Bo Brooks walk-off homer to give Troy a 5-4 victory over Auburn. We'll flash back to present day, 16 innings and another walk-off, but keep in mind the Trojans were on the road. That's right, a walk-off grand slam for UALR. As if one game in extras wasn't enough, they'd do it again Saturday, and again it was a home run that decided the game. This time it was off the bat of David Hall, who knocked out a 3-run homer in the top of the 10th to put Troy out in front and in position to win. Well, here's another key number for you, 12. That's the number of batters Shane McCain struck out in 8 innings on Saturday, the most by a Troy pitcher since 2007 and enough to set a new career high. So it all came down to Sunday. Well, in a weekend where home runs seemed to make the difference, Sunday was no different as the Trojans of UALR knocked 5 out of the park in a 10-4 victory. The scoring started early as the Troy Trojans put 1 across in the top of the first, but UALR answered in the bottom half of the frame with 5 runs, including 3 long balls. And after a long weekend of baseball, assistant coach Brad Phillips says the team just has to keep fighting.
Series loss, always tough to lose a series, much less, to an opponent where we thought that we had a good shot of a good matchup against them, and but all we can do is move forward and look forward to UT Arlington coming in here this weekend.
But before the next conference series, the Trojans have back-to-back midweek contests on the road. The Trojans will be in Birmingham on Tuesday to take on Samford. The Bulldogs won the first game between these two this season in Troy, and the rematch will be tomorrow night at 6 o'clock in Birmingham. And the softball team was struggling offensively as well this weekend, taking on the top team in the league. The Ragin' Cajuns swept the Trojans and didn't allow them to plate a single run in either game while pouring on 14 runs on 18 hits. JCFL only allowed 2 hits and no earned runs in Game 1, as all 5 of ULL's runs were unearned. Game 2 was a different story, as the Cajuns had 9 runs on 14 hits, and Louisiana Lafayette's pitcher Christina Hamilton earned the win in both games, tossing 13 innings. The Trojans now sit at 2-11 in conference play. And the Trojan track and field team has seen some impressive marks throughout the season, and the throwers continued that this weekend at the War Eagle Invitational. Zach Douglas set a new personal best and broke the Troy University record in the shot put at 17.81 meters. Karina Cox won the women's discus event and is currently ranked 3rd in the Sunbelt standings. Julia Ostendorf placed 4th in the women's 5K and is ranked 13th in the conference in that event, as well as 7th in the 3,000-meter steeplechase. Thaddeus Curtis finished 5th in the 110-meter hurdles and holds the top spot in the conference rankings. These athletes will compete for the final time during the regular season this weekend in the only home meet of the year, the Cocho Invitational. And the Trojan tennis teams ended their seasons at the conference championships over the weekend. The women were able to advance to the second round after a close 4-3 victory against Texas State, but were swept by the eventual conference champions, Georgia State. Trang Hyun and Anya Kosovic were up 6-3 on the nation's 20th ranked doubles pair, but Georgia State took the doubles point and that match was left unfinished. Both Kosovic and Hyun left their singles matches unfinished as well, with those two combining to go 36-7 in singles play this season. For the men, their journey to the title was cut short in the quarterfinals. The men lost 4-1 to UT Arlington in the final match for 4 seniors. The men ended the season at 8-17 overall. Well, the women's golf team brought home the Sunbelt Conference title last week, and the men are looking to follow in their footsteps this week. The men's golf team will be in action through Wednesday at the Grand Bear Golf Course in Mississippi, playing for the conference title. The Trojans enter the tournament 3rd in the league at number 72 in the country in the latest Golf Week rankings. Through the first round, though, the men struggled, shooting 18 over par and are in 9th place. They are 20 strokes behind the leader, UT Arlington. Jake Tucker is in the lead for the Trojans, tied for 17th overall and just 2 strokes over. So Amanda, Caitlin, busy week of Trojan athletics. Of course, the baseball team had a tough weekend playing so many innings of baseball. And then you've got 2 more midweek games, so really a tough road for them. But, you know, that's what makes the champions who they are. You got to come through and fight through the tough times and keep going. So best of luck to them during these midweek contests and heading back into conference play.
Exactly. We wish all of our spring teams the best as they finish out this season.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Danielle.